All right, guys, I'm going to talk about gun safety for a minute here. Listen, safety is important, but it's not the most important thing. If you can make yourself so safe that you are not combat efficient whatsoever. All right. If you want to be totally safe from any problem with firearms, you know what? Sell your gun. Go take up golf. All right. We have some guidelines that we use to make as sure as we can that we're not going to have any mishaps in training. Now, listen, I've read the Bible through at least half a dozen times, and there's no mention in there about gun safety, all right? So none of this stuff is written in stone. It's the work of man and therefore open to interpretation and revision as needed, all right? Often it's said, all guns are always loaded. Well, if I take this rifle, all right, and I take this magazine out, and I verify the magazine is unloaded, all right, and I run the bolt several times, dry press it, run the bolt again, dry press it, open the action. I show my students, I show the cameraman, I show you, I look myself, I close the action and press the trigger. If you tell me that this gun is loaded, you're insulting my intelligence and your own. All right? So rule number one for us is treat all guns as if they were loaded unless you have checked and two other independent people have checked and verified that it's empty. Now, why do we do that? We train all over the world. Here in the U.S., we're blessed with red guns and blue guns and purple guns and all kinds of plastic and rubber facsimiles of guns when we're doing CQB training or when we're doing force on force or when we're doing all of these non-range events, all right? You go down to South America, there ain't no blue guns down there. You go to Europe or Africa or some of these places, sorry. So you either not do that type of training or you do what we do here, which is we verify the condition, two other people verify it, and then you carry on. All right? Simple as that. Rule number two, they'll tell you, don't let the muzzle cover anything you're not willing to destroy. Well, you know, number one, that's impossible to do. All right? Anytime that you carry a rifle with you, it's pointing somewhere. Somewhere over there, there might be an airplane flying or something. So, you know, the idea of never letting your muzzle cover something you're not willing to destroy is impossible to do. In rifle class, we carry these things on sling all day long. Sometimes it may cover your foot. Sometimes it may cover your knee. You know, the rifle's on safe when it's on sling. You're being careful. Nothing's going to happen. This is the way rifles are used in combat environments. All right. What we say instead is don't be careless with your gun muzzle. All right. Now somebody might ask, well, what does that mean? What's careless? Well, careless is like pornography. It's hard to describe, but you know it when you see it. All right. Waving your rifle around, you know, gesturing with it. Hey, go get me a glass of water or something. That's being careless. Just be conscientious with where your muzzle is pointing. Everything will work out just fine. All right. Rule number three, they say keep your finger off the trigger till your sights are on the target. Very nice. It's got a rhythm to it. You could probably sing it to a guitar solo. Impossible to do because if I'm shooting from close contact position, are my sights on the target? I have no bloody idea. I'm looking at the bad guy. All right. So what we say is keep your finger off the trigger until you've made a conscious decision to shoot. Very simple to remember. All right. Which brings us to the issue of the safety lever itself. All right, there's three safeties. We have a three-tier safety system. Number one, your brain housing group. You're paying attention to what's going on and your brain is deciding, I'm going to shoot that man or I'm not going to shoot that man. When someone's trying to kill you, you're going to be paying attention. When you're training on the range, you should be paying attention. Safety number one is right here. Safety number two is your trigger finger. It is either on the trigger because you are intending to shoot or it's at the natural limit of extension, as straight as it'll go. Okay? It doesn't go any straighter than this. One of two positions, either here or here. Simple to remember, just like operating the AK. All right? And the last one is the mechanical safety. You use this when you're going to relinquish control of the rifle to the sling or your pistol to the holster, as it were. But you don't go through a tactical environment monkeying with the safety like this. All right? The only place I've seen that done is here in the United States. No other place on earth do people mess around with the safety. So use it when you need to, remove it when you need to, and carry on. All right? And the last thing, they say, you know, be sure of your target and what's beyond it. Always a good idea. The implication is that if you have a questionable background that you're not going to shoot. All right? Don't think like that. All right? If there's a bad guy directly in front of me and he is going to kill me, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to kill me unless I shoot him, and there's, you know, other people in the background and stuff like that, you know, I'm going to do my best not to shoot them, but they should get out of the way, because I'm not going to not shoot because of a possibility of a possible risk. That would be unreasonable to ask anybody to do that. All right, so those are the safety rules we operate by. They're reasonable, they work well in fighting as well as on the range, and I suggest you adopt them as well.